What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Elliot here with an immediate reaction after watching episode 8 season 1 finale of Gen V, which was titled Guardians of Godolkin. Full spoilers ahead. If you guys have been watching or been part of the channel for a while, I've been doing these kind of immediate reactions the last few weeks for this show, and I'm going to be doing that today, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to spend a little bit more time breaking down this finale, talking about the last 10 to 15 minutes, which was crazy. We will be talking about that cameo that I predicted a couple weeks ago, talking mid-credit scene, get into some thoughts and some theories, not only for the season 2 that's been announced for Gen V, but also season 4 of The Boys. And then at the end of this video, I'll give you all just my overall review of this first season of Gen V. So again, full spoilers ahead. I am pre-recording this, so shout out to Amazon for giving me the final episodes just a couple days in advance before you all have seen it. So I'm assuming you've seen the finale. If so, let's talk all spoilers in the comments below. I want to know your pros, your cons, your favorite moments, least favorite moments, your thoughts on the ending, your predictions for season 2 of Gen V, your predictions for season 4 of The Boys. Let's talk it all in the comments below. So let's jump right into it. 34 minutes long. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous, like, oh, here we go. Another short episode is gonna probably rush things through and not really flesh things out. I do have some issues with the finale, but in general, I don't feel like it was rushed. I feel like we got enough answers. They set up things to set up, obviously, the season 2 and set up The Boys. So I'm pretty satisfied with this finale overall. And again, I'll get into some of my criticisms, but 34 minutes. And there was no breaks. Like, we were hitting the ground running, and we're going to break it all down here, starting off with the two villains, Magneto, aka Kate, and her, henchman and Sam, and they're just full out villains in this finale. Obviously, it's been shaping up to this, especially with the Sam character, that hatred, that kind of Hulk moment that he has in this episode, like when the Hulk Bruce Banner in the Avengers says, "I'm always angry," him saying, "I hate myself, so I don't want any feelings," and we'll talk about that here in a second. But man, I really, really enjoyed what we got with Kate, not only in this show, but in this finale. And this is the thing I love about The Boys and Gen V and this world they've created, is just the reality of it all, of like, if we had superheroes in our reality, a lot of this stuff will be going down. And I really love when this show shines a light on the morality of these characters, right? There's obviously good characters, there's obviously the bad characters, but then there's the characters that play in the middle, right? And we got that with Kate and especially Sam in this finale. And just seeing them right off the bat, we see that Kate is doing her Magneto thing, releasing all the students from the woods, which is the right thing to do. That is the hero thing to do, to save these students who's being tested on, who's now being killed because we know Shelley was creating a virus. So again, the back and forth, good versus bad, the good angel versus bad angel. She's doing the right thing, but then she instructs them to kill everyone that's not a soup. It's the whole idea of like, we're gonna be killed, so kill or be killed type of mindset. And it's, again, that thing. She's doing the right thing, but then she's telling them to do something terrible. I love that with the character. And I'll be honest, I thought Kate at the beginning, very much stereotypical pretty girl with her boyfriend, the Luke issue, the stuff going on with Andre. But she really ended up being, by the end of the show, one of my favorite characters, because you understand, again, not making excuses for her villainous ways, but just putting yourself in her shoes in this fictitious world. At a very young age, the whole situation with her brother, which I'm very curious if her brother is still alive out there. He's going to pop up in season 2 or somewhere in The Boys. But just from that early age, her mom locking her away for 9 years, very much so she can relate to those kids as being put in the woods. And that's where that whole Sam and Kate relationship, which I'll be honest, I wish was fleshed out more, but you could understand their shared kind of trauma and how they're able to bond, which is a great theme of this show. But seeing her not trusting her mom, locking her in her room, isolating her, and then immediately living that manipulated, well, not manipulating, but that person that she couldn't trust, who she's supposed to trust, which is her own parents, and immediately get into this relationship with Shelley. Imagine what that would do to someone's mental state and how they would have these moments of like, I'm doing good, I'm doing the right thing, but then also doing villainous things. So I like what they did with Kate in this episode, and that leads us into the Sam of it all. Now, Sam is just a loose cannon in this episode when he tells Kate to just remove my feelings, right? And that issue that they're tackling in the show of these heroes who have the best powers, the strong, the strength, the speed, the laser eyes, but their powers are like almost symbolizes their mental state. And especially Sam, he's so powerful, but it's so chaotic how he's killing these people. Like when he smashed that dude's face in, smushes his brains, so much going on there. But again, just looking at Sam and what he went through in this episode. But again, just backtracking a little bit, I will say a negative that I do have with the Sam and the Kate relationship. Again, understanding the shared trauma that they share and how they can bond over that. I don't know if I honestly buy into Sam kind of dismissing her and the hatred he had towards her for what she did to his brother, wiping his mind and saying that he died. So I wish there was maybe one or two more scenes between Kate and Sam to really kind of get a better understanding of, again, I understand that, yes, he's like, we can put our BS aside for now. Who's to say that it might not be revisited in a season 2 between those two? Like, he's just playing along with her for now because it kind of, their ideology kind of aligns right now, but he still kind of hates her for what she did to his brother. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out, but I do wish that there was, again, one or two more scenes to say for me to see, hey, this is Sam talking to Kate. I still hate you, but right now we're on the same page. So I'm going to rock with you for a little bit, but we still got some things to iron out. So that's a relationship I'm really excited to see moving forward. Let me know what you all thought about Kate and Sam and them being this kind of very powerful, dynamic duo, even though one of the characters has lost their arm at the end of this episode, which we'll talk about. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about Kate and Sam? What do you hope to see from them in season 2? Now, if I'm being honest, the weakest part of this episode and one of the weaker elements of the show is the relationship between Andre and his dad. We see that Andre learns that every time his father uses his powers, he's causing his brain to have damage, and also Andre kind of gets this idea put in his head by the doctor that maybe sooner rather than later, you might experience similar symptoms if you continue to use your power, which again is such a cool thing because you can't have like OP characters doing OP things all the time. They have to have their limits. So again, this world that we're seeing with these soups, they're not invincible, which again, Homelander, and we'll talk about that, but like there's vulnerabilities within these soups. So the idea that every time his father uses his powers, he is hurting himself, he's essentially killing himself, and the same could be said about Andre. So the reason I bring up that I didn't like it, I said this a couple weeks ago in my immediate reaction when we saw his father have the seizures and he went to the hospital. I'm like, the sentiment is there. Again, this is this whole show about fathers and sons and daughters and the mothers and relationships and parental guidance and being misguided from the adults in the show. But the relationship hasn't been fleshed out enough for me to personally invest and care when they're on the bed. And he's like, I want you to be the new Polarity. I want you to take my costume and continue the mantle, the legacy and all that stuff. I'm like, it hasn't been fleshed out enough to make me care enough. But again, I am very intrigued to see what side of the coin will Andre fall on? Will he be like his dad and be complicit and just hide the secrets? Or will he be the hero, very much like Marie's trying to do at this end of the episode? But again, if I were to say a weak lack of development of a father-son relationship or just a relationship in general, that's one of my least favorite ones. Let me know what you all thought about that and what do you hope to see for Andre moving forward. But speaking of relationships that I really have grown to really enjoy, that's the relationship between Sam and Emma and their bond of feeling like they want to be heroes, they want to do the right thing. But them on stage in this episode, literally on stage, having like a couple's their first fight, right? They've come such a long way of like, I want to save you, to you're cute, to let's hook up, to them hooking up, to now them being a thing, to breaking up essentially. I really like that scene because a character that I was very, very much invested in, and honestly probably my favorite character of the show, is Emma. I really liked learning her and how her powers literally are like a body dysmorphia of her not eating and the stuff with her mom. Like that stuff was so rich. I will say as the show went on, they kind of forgot about that character stuff and focused more on her relationship and how she kind of shifted her priorities to babysitting Sam essentially. But I really still like Emma. And the conversation when he just essentially lets her down and breaks up with her or says that you only help me, you only want to do the good good things to do it for yourself. And if I'm being honest, there's some truth in that. Sam was speaking facts, because that was the initial reason why she wanted to save this person that she never met before, had no affiliations or connections to, and she wanted to save Sam because she wanted to be that hero. So he is speaking facts there. And in that moment, we see her, almost Sam kind of helped her out in a certain way, where even though he belittled her, literally made her feel small, she found a new way, or at least I think she's going to take this, like, put two and two together, like, oh, I don't have to eat to get big or throw up to get small. It's all based on my mental state and kind of my emotions. So new power without, doing the things that she was doing to harm herself. So that's very interesting to kind of see where that's going to go moving forward. Is there a way that Emma can get to Sam, get back in good graces, even though he's a full-on villain, has no more feelings by the end of this episode? But I like Emma, and I like that scene. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments section as we move forward talking about the big stuff here, and that is the mayhem on God U. From seeing the Supes from the woods just brutally killing the non-Supes, which led to them almost killing the CEO, Ashley of Vought, and we see the director of the Dawn of the Seven almost getting killed all along with the board of Vought. So that stuff, Ashley's so damn funny. I mean, like, this was a funny episode. Like, there's several moments, quick little scenes, quick little moments that I thought was funny, but them trying to make their way to the helicopter, to all the kids in the woods just literally annihilating humans, and that was pretty scary. I will admit that it was kind of silly, like, okay, we're watching these Supes kind of kill and annihilate humans, but like, guys, you all have superpowers of your own. You can kind of contain the situation. Now, I don't want to get too dark, but I don't know if this was the show kind of doing again, the show likes to play in reality and grounding this, like, it's kind of like, and again, I know this is a sensitive topic and a very tragic topic, but it's almost like when you see mass shootings in schools and public, outings, it's just like, it's chaos. Like, you can forget that you are Supe and you can probably stop them. You're just like, I need to get out of here. I need to protect myself. And even that one scene, which the girl that's always about social media, she's like, oh my goodness, we're not going to have a way for people to know that we're dead. So it is a little bit of a social commentary there, but it was just a scene of like just blood and guts and gore, and it was pretty brutal. Which brings us into Marie, who's had her own moment to level up with her powers in this episode as she uses the blood. And let's be honest, that superpower, the blood, is just so silly to me. But she finally kind of honed in and kind of tapped into her Victoria powers, where she made the daggers or the blood into daggers, and she kills the one Supe who was trying to kill everyone on the plane. And ultimately, she did her Victoria move where she blew off Kate's arm. So slowly but surely, those whack-ass blood powers are becoming very lethal, because we know when Victoria Newman doesn't like someone, heads go flying off. So very intrigued to see how Marie's going to continue to hone in her power set and maybe be even more powerful than Victoria. Or, as I'll talk about later, they should work together, not in a way of like Marie going bad, but like using her to use her powers type of situation. So that was cool. But nothing's cooler than the cameo of Homelander, who was called in earlier. He shows up. Now, help me out in the comments. I don't know if he was able to quickly put two and two together and see Marie standing up there and have, Kate's arm missing. Does he just assume that she hurt her? Because as he says to her, what kind of person or what kind of animal are you? Do you attack your own kind? Which leads him to blasting her in her chest and whatnot. And we'll get back to that scene a little bit further. But he takes out Marie. We end the episode with the news showing that the massacre at God U was due to Andre. It was due to Marie, who was the previous Guardians of Godolphin, as well as Jordan and Emma are being blamed for this mass murder. And we see Homelanders watching this on the television, smiling. And again, we'll get back to that, but we end with the mid-credit scene with someone with the light going down into the woods, and it's no other than my second favorite character on The Boys, and that is Billy Butcher saying what he says best, his little catchphrase. So let's back up a little bit and talk about those two scenes, starting off with that ending there. Do we believe that Homelander set this all up? And what I mean by that is, when he lands on the ground, was he already informed of the situation. Like, okay, we have Marie, we have Kate, this is who you should take out, this is who you should take in, this is who you should kill? Was he already aware of that when Ashley called him and filled him in? Or again, was this Homelander, right now he doesn't listen to anyone, let alone Ashley, was this him making an assessment like, you know what? I'm just going to say it's your fault, and you two right there, I'm referring to who they ultimately say saved the day, which was Sam and Kate, which is going to be very interesting to see Sam wanting to now work with Vought, the same people that tested on him and ultimately got his brother to take his own life, and also seeing her, as far as Kate, now trusting the same people that Shetty and all that stuff manipulate them. So I wonder how they were able to convince them to take on this, you're the heroes, you're working with Vought now, or was it Homelander like, this is the deal, you're going to do this, I'm going to mentor you, you can babysit my son Ryan, teach him some things? Or is this Homelander saying, you two are now going to be a part of the Seven? Let me know what you all think about that. I would really like to see more scenes of, obviously, Kate and Sam working out their situation, seeing are they full-on villains, is there any bit of good left in them? And did Homelander set all this up? Was this Ashley's doing? Let me know your thoughts on that. But let's talk about the mid-credit scene and kind of lead into my thoughts of a season 2 for this and season 4 of The Boys. Billy goes down there. As I mentioned in my last video, that I assumed that was Mallory when she was on the phone, that she was talking to Butcher, letting him know, did you hear that? With Shetty, there's a virus that can kill Soup. So he's aware of the virus, and now he's going to look for it, which we know Victoria has the last makings of the virus. And the last time we saw Butcher, we know he was in the hospital because he had too much compound V in the system, and he has a very limited time left on Earth. How will he go out? Will he want to commit the genocide and continue Shetty's plan and get a hold of those viruses and kill all the Soups? Will he keep his promise to his wife to protect Ryan? Will he try to rescue Ryan? Or is Ryan too far gone with his dad and Homelander's evil ways? So I'm very intrigued to see what they do with Butcher, knowing about the Woods. Will he say F him because he hates Soups, or will he have some type of sympathy to try to find this virus, get rid of the virus? Will he die next season? Like, will he just maybe, like, I don't know, inject himself with both of the? I don't know. I don't want to see Butcher die. He's my second favorite character to Homelander. So I'm very intrigued to see what they do with all of that stuff there. So a little bit long-winded. Again, this is my immediate reaction. I knew this video was going to be a little bit kind of all over the place because I had a good time with this episode. But let's get into just kind of my general impressions of this show. Now, the MCU is on fire. The DCU is hitting the reset button. I'll just speak for myself. The best superhero movies, and well, not necessarily movies, but superhero stories right now are being told on Amazon Prime, with obviously Invincible Season 2 starting up literally, this week as I'm recording this. The Boys is fantastic, and this show is really good. They have the best superhero stuff, hands down in my opinion, and focusing on this show in particular, I really did enjoy this season 1 of Gen V. Now, I'm not in the camp. I've seen some people, and rightfully so, to each their own. I've seen some people say online that they feel like this show is better than The Boys. Now, I don't agree with that, like, at all, but to each their own. But I will say there are things that I enjoy about the show more than The Boys. Like, I thought the action was better in this show than it is in The Boys. Like, if you think about The Boys, and I love The Boys, as I just admitted, there's not a lot of action going on with The Boys, like, and in particularly like Soups on Soups. Like, we got the most action in season 3, but it took 3 seasons to see Homelander finally like throw punches and actually fight a Soup. Versus this show, we were fighting episode 1. So I think the action is a little bit more entertaining with this show. And also, I love The Boys and the cast and the crew, and Homelander and Butcher are some of my favorite characters on TV, and particularly Homelander, the best villain on TV. No questions asked for me. But the ensemble with this show of Gen V, especially like right off the gate, If you go back and watch my review of The Boys Season 1, there were some characters I didn't really care for. I'm looking at you, Huey, but collectively, I like this cast. I wouldn't say as more of The Boys, but just right out of the gate, Season 1, this is a strong ensemble cast, and in particularly the story, the themes, the social commentary on political situations with the Supes versus humans, you know, Supes Lives Matters, which obviously carried over from The Boys and all the political stuff going on. The whole idea of these young teenagers who are gifted with these powers but are being manipulated by either their parents, teachers, deans, people they look up to. So all that stuff really worked for me. Also, these characters and how they use their powers, how it's harming them, and just really expanding upon that. I just really love how this show tackled so many different themes and did it in such a really impressive way. And again, I was just so locked in every single week. Now, not every episode was great. Not all the character stories fleshed out. Marie, I like that actress. I like Marie, but I don't know if she really stuck the landing for me throughout the show. Like, I like how they start the character, and I like how they end the character, but there was some stuff in the middle that I felt was kind of like all over the place with the character. But overall, man, this is a great season of television. I'm very excited for season 2. Obviously, we got past the writer's strike, and as I'm recording this, they're still in negotiations with the actor's strike. I don't know how long it's going to be till we see a season 2. I am to assume that season 4 of The Boys have been pretty much finalized as far as like principal photography and shooting. You know, there are obviously things they can probably add on and tweak on, but I would assume The Boys season 4 will be out next year, and hopefully season 2 of Gen V will be out in 2025. But again, with the strikes, who's to say when we're going to see these characters again? And who's to say that we might not see any of the characters from Gen V being in season 4 of The Boys? Will The Boys save the kids that's hidden in this bunker, which has no windows and walls and stuff like that? Will Homelander try to give them a second chance to redeem themselves? So we might see one or two, if not all these characters from Gen V being in some parts, some elements of The Boys, because that is, again, it's a perfect handoff. There's going to have to be some type of consequences, follow-ups, check-ins from what happened in this show into the new season of The Boys. So, hey, 20-something minutes later, that's my thoughts, that's my breakdown, my rant, my review of this finale and of this show as a whole. Let me know in the comments, again, what worked, what didn't work, pros, cons, thoughts, theories. Again, this was just, I had some notes down, but this is just one of those videos. I just wanted to talk to y'all, have a fun time. So let's have some fun in the comments below. If you stuck around to this point in the video, I really appreciate you. Before we wrap it all up, just consider hitting the like button, sharing your thoughts in the comments, but also potentially sharing this video to anyone and everyone you know that loves this show just as much as we do. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. That way you can stay up to all of my TV reviews, movie reviews, and all the fun stuff we do here on this channel. You all are great. Hope you're staying safe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.